You remember the main event?
Oh, Waliyy, yeah.
His dunks were equivalent to Mike Tyson knocking the dude out. When Mike Tyson went boom and the dude fall, that crowd, every dunk was like...
Let the world know the name, man. Street ball king, bringing pride to the game. From Lennon to Elizabeth, Jersey's vein. Main event, forever etched in domain again.
Yo, what up, what up, what up? The Certified Legend Main Event, and we're at Main Event and Friends on the couch today with the one and only Stephen Baker, a.k.a. Touchdown Baker. How you doing,
See you,
bro?
man. Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. It's been a minute.
Long minute, maybe decades.
and in those decades, we met on the basketball court.
Yes.
And in those decades, we ran into each other numerous times. You know, I thank the creator for that. Where you from?
Originally, I was born in San Antonio, Texas, but moved to Los Angeles in about the third grade. So I was raised in Los Angeles. Went through the LA Unified School District system and, you know, wasn't the best because of the Crips and the Bloods and all that nonsense. But I had a really strong mother who raised myself and my brother because my dad wasn't around.
That's exactly the direction I was going.
Yeah.
Going from that age, because a lot of times people get the only opportunity to see our success, the final product, right?
Right.
The finishing touch, this is it. But in that journey, like you mentioned, the Bloods and the Crips, how was it for you? Did you get caught up in that? What was your home bringing? What was your foundation, if there was any?
Well, the only thing that I would say that kept me strong, I really wanted to play in the NFL so bad, man. And the first time I ever scored a touchdown, I can still remember it playing street ball. Nobody could catch me. And I said, you know what, I want to do this for the rest of my life. So that kind of drove me to want to be a professional athlete. I also wanted to be a pilot, man, a fighter pilot. Especially when Top Gun came out, I really wanted to fly F-14 and whatnot. But football was a little easier to get into.
At what age we're talking?
Oh my God, I was in junior high.
Now
And
let's go back.
Even further.
Let's go back just a little. Let's go back to maybe like, was you ever a kid that dreamed? A kid that dreamed.
Yeah, so
It had siblings. What's going on as far as in the world? What music was popular? You know,
Wow,
let's take them. Let's take them through
I'm a little
quick
different.
journey.
Don't get me wrong. I'm positively black, but I love my guitar. So I used to listen to rock and roll. I love Aerosmith and
nothing wrong
Pink
with that.
Floyd. I love guitar solo. So I was always different from everybody else that I grew up with. Matter of fact, I remember the first time going to a party after seeing Saturday Night Fever, and we know what John Travolta was doing in that.
Absolutely.
All this. So I go to a hood party and I do that in there. Everybody laughed me out of there, bro. So now I still have that phobia. I'm the rhythmless brother. That's why I never danced when I scored a touchdown and did all that stuff.
All music could be the soundtrack to our lives.
Yeah, and it used to get me going. Like I said, I used to listen to the hardcore rock and roll going to a game, and then afterwards, after I made great plays, slow it down and listen to some Elton John.
What were some of your challenges? And let's go to middle school. Let's go to middle school. Any challenges being different?
Yeah, once again, I was 125 pounds maybe in junior high. And I'll never forget, I had a history teacher named Mr. Hughesby, right? He went around the classroom. I was in 7th grade. He said, what do you want to be when you grow up? He asked the whole class. Doctors, lawyers, teachers. I raised my hand. I said, I want to play in the NFL. And he clowned me in front of the whole class. And I still can see it to this day. He had these little beady eyes, glasses, bald head, mustache. And he said it just like this. Are you kidding me? There are only 28 teams in the league. They carry 4 to 5 receivers, and you think you're going to be one of those guys. And I'll never forget, they all just laughed at me, man.
We got to give him a...
Yeah. But ultimately, I did give him the biggest shout out ever.
Absolutely.
When I
motivation.
scored the Super Bowl touchdown in the Super Bowl, I got to address the media, and they didn't know what I was talking about. I said, this goes out to Mr. Hughesby, who said I couldn't do it.
This seems like there's something with our stories that have similarities where there's someone either told us that we can't do something or we won't do something, and it wound up being motivation, a fuel for us.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't even think about him throughout my whole career until that exact moment, man. I couldn't think of nothing to say to them. But I always tell people when they ask, what were you thinking when you scored that touchdown in the Super Bowl? You think of, when the game's over and you ultimately win, you think about what it took to get there. Like you mentioned earlier, people just see the end result. They don't know the trials and tribulations you went to get to that point. And I'll tell you, I went through a lot with the dislocated shoulder, getting a screw put in, thinking my career was over. Grades sucked in high school.
I was going to ask that.
Yeah,
was
man.
you a student athlete? Why did they suck?
I was an athlete student because I was disillusioned thinking I was going to be the first guy to make it to the NFL right out of high school at 5'8", 145 pounds. I always sat in the back of the class. I played football in the morning, lunchtime, practice, and after practice, I would still play football, going on that journey. And I never forget my high school coach said to me, you know what, Baker? One day UCLA and USC are going to come in here and offer you a scholarship. You're not going to be able to do it because you don't have the grades. And sure enough, man, they came. And I remember seeing the jackets and stuff, and I'm like, man, they're going to ask how fast he is. Is he a team player? You know what they ask? How's his grades? And I always tell the kids I had a whopping 1.96. And
Wow.
you'd think they won this $1 billion lottery the other day. They walked out here so fast. And of course, I was the best player, one of the best players in Los Angeles and in the state and the United States. And I had to go to what they call, community college to get myself together. And as fate would have it, I jumped up for a pass and came down. I thought the ground was here, but it wasn't. And I came down and dislocated my shoulder, popped out up to here. And you remember old school, what they would do. They lay you on the table and brace their foot and try to yank it.
Yeah.
They yanked mine, man. I screamed like a little girl.
And this is in middle school?
This is in junior college.
This is going junior college?
Yes.
When you was talking about the 1.9, that definitely registered with me. That was my GPA. I was an athlete student, like you said, as well. That 1.9, I had to sit out my first year at Rutgers, started failing, did just enough to play, and I wound up getting that letter that said your services are no longer wanted here.
Wow.
But it's a good story because you're giving your journey and letting people who may come under those same situations, but you still was able to be on the highest level of professional sports, in football,
Right.
which was the NFL.
And
When did you know that you was just like, far as now your personality, you're just different, which I think people different is the 1% that make have a 99 impact on people. So I'm also that 1% too, or we're different as well. I'm different as well. Now, when did you know you was different on that field? Like I'm just totally different. I'm just better. How was your training? Did you have personal trainers back then? What was your work ethics like?
Okay, I wasn't like a team leader as far as vocal, but I did it through my play, being the smallest player on whatever team I played on. And every time I stepped on the field, man, I always said, I'm the best one out here. I didn't have to boast it like these kids do today, you know what I'm saying? Like pounding their chest. I always worked harder than everybody. When we do the drills, I always came in first place in the gases we were doing. We had to run back and forth. I always came in first place. And I just let my play be my leadership. And like I said, I always believed I was the best out there. And I got a chance to prove it. You heard of the NFL Combine?
Yes.
I was lucky enough to go to that and being out there with all these guys from USC, Michigan. I'm looking at all the helmets. I came from Fresno State, and I'm the littlest dude out there, 5'8", 158 pounds. We had to do the bench press. They show you guys now. They didn't show it on TV back then. But I'm struggling. I think it's 210 you got to do. I'm like, and these mugs all in a line laughing, bro, going like this. But when we got out there on the field, and they have the general managers and the coaches in one little section. And I went for this ball, man. It was a bomb, and I hit another gear, and I went and got it, and they all, like, gasped. And I think that's what got me over the hump.
Being the underdog and then wound up being the popular one.
Yes.
Or our eyes on you now.
Yeah, because I looked at the receivers, and I'm no shade against them, but I'm looking at them, how they coming out of their routes, man. I'm like that out of breaks. You know what I'm saying?
Still got a little bit.
Only for a little while.
Oh, okay. I like that.
But they were lumbering when they come out their breaks, and I'm like, I know I'm faster than that when I get out of break, bro. And separation. So, the Giants.
But when you went from JUCO, right?
Yes.
What school did you go to?
I'm sorry, Fresno State.
Went to Fresno State.
Yes, and a good story with that. I got my GPA up to a 3.2 while at the JUCO. I was there for 2 years, or I was redshirt the first year, and then 2 years playing. And when I was out injured, I went to the library, and that's when I became a student athlete because I said, let study here for about 6 hours and see what happened. And I took a test. I was like, man, I felt good to get a B, right? And I kept getting B's and A's. I didn't hang out with the team anymore. So when football season started again, I was excited, man. I said, I got good grades. I went out there. I scored 15 touchdowns my first year. Then the next year, 3.2 again, and I scored 16. And all those colleges came back. UCLA, but I was in the driver's seat. That's my message to the kids. I'm in the driver's seat now because I got the grades, I got the numbers, and I could choose anywhere I wanted to go, and I chose Fresno State.
Besides that teacher, why didn't you give up? Because I never gave up. I just stopped with the schools. I went to Rutgers University, sat out my first year. Then I went to South Carolina, never got a chance to play. Then I went to Caldwell College, didn't get a chance to play. I never gave up. But as far as the school, you finished that. Then you wound up going to the NFL. What was your drive besides the teacher? It had to be something else driving you. Like was it self? Like,
yes.
I had self goals. I said, you know what? I want to be in a position where I could play against the NBA guys. And my agent, Eugene Napoleon, hooked up something with the Nets, Jeff Van Gundy. I got an opportunity. I got invited to the rookies camp. Then I got invited to the veterans camp. I didn't go to the veterans camp because I proved to myself that I was good enough to play with them. What was your situation?
Well, so my drive was always proving people wrong, and I only wanted an opportunity. I really did not care what round I got drafted in. I was lucky enough to go in the third round, but I swear I just wanted to get into somebody's camp, and I can show you what I could do. And that's what drove me. And like I said, proving people wrong, man, because you know the odds. They say that number 1% make it to the NFL. That number never resonated with me because I said every time I got amongst some of the best players, I was always the best player out there on the field.
I like that.
In my mind, and I didn't brag about it, but I knew what I brought to the table. And if I messed up, I didn't let it get to me, you know, because we drop passes. But, you know, some guys, it gets in their heads. I ain't going to say no name, C.D. Lamb. No. I know that's old, but yeah, we're going to find out how mentally strong he is now. You know, because sometimes, as you well know, you've probably been around some athletes. They can't bounce back from stuff like that when they've been coddled their whole life, telling them they all this, and then when they get some adversity, you see the real them.
Absolutely. Sometimes we have to go through those different things. But the basis of the story, I'm a person where now at 51 years old, I know certain things were just already written.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure the Creator took you through different challenges, different things you had to do, different decisions you had to make. Now, people, I tell them I'm not really a sports guy.
Right.
They be like, oh, you got But I do know and remember watching the games. So let's let them be clear wherever you played in. And so I want to ask you, is it different? Has the game changed from back then? If so, how to how it is now?
Man, it's like night and day. Just one example, coming across the middle, if the ball is thrown high and I jump for it and it comes off my fingertips, as long as the ball's in the air, we were still live. I mean, they could still knock you crazy. They could go underneath your legs and make you do a backflip and land on your head. Luckily, I was a gymnast in high school and a street tumbler. I always land on my feet like a cat. But that part of it, and you know, I'm going to say they're soft, but man, they only have 12 padded practices a year. 12. Me and Otis just talked about this. I was talking to him coming up here. Tuesday was our day off, right? Then Wednesday was offensive day. Thursday was defensive day. We went full pads throughout the whole season. We also did a drill called 9-on-7, meaning linemen or goal line live during the season. These kids, they just put on these little shells and they just go thud. So that's why we think we see so many injuries, because their bodies are not
used to that.
Used to getting hit until like the third or fourth game. And that's the biggest change I see. And I wish the showboating is just getting out of hand, man. Receivers scoring touchdowns and twerking, bro. What is that about? I mean, really, it made me go back and look at some of my old highlights and see what I did when I scored a touchdown. I would go embrace my teammates, high five them. I never pushed them away and start twerking.
Wait, talking about touchdown. How did you get the name Touchdown Baker? I mean, it's self-evident. When I first met you, and it was like, yo, he's in the NFL, and I'm like, what position do we play? You know, short, strong. I could tell the physique strong, but How did you get that name?
Well, I got it in junior college, man, when I scored 31 touchdowns, right, in 2
Started in
years.
junior college.
And the first time I ever played, and as a kid, I was a Dallas Cowboy fan. So I always wanted to, I always wanted to play on artificial turf, but there's none in Los Angeles at that time. East LA Junior College was the first to get it. And when I walked out onto that field, I said, oh, man, I told my receiver starter, I feel unstoppable today, bro. And sure enough, I went on and caught 4 passes for 4 touchdowns. And a reporter came up to me and said, you know, that was one of the greatest junior college performances I've ever seen. Do you mind if I write Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker? I'm like, cool, it rhymes. Go for it. And I can say that year I went on to score 16. And by the way, O.J. Simpson had the record. We tied at that time, national. Yes. And I always tell people that was the only thing I had in common with him, though.
But blessing to the OJ.
Yeah, blessing to OJ, man.
Yeah, but that was real. That's
yeah.
That's. I mean, you gotta. How could you miss that part of your journey? You know, your accolade.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Thank you. Now with the Fresno, the name stuck, right? But why the first game playing in front of 30,000 people, it threw me a slant and I drop it in the end zone. And I swear the papers, it's all about adversity. The papers next day said Stephen Baker, the touchdown faker. Next week we play Oregon, and I hit a 97-yard touchdown and bounced back. And I averaged over, people always think I'd be lying, but I got video proof to prove it. When I was at Fresno State, I averaged 28 yards a catch. And the first time I ever touched a punt, I took it back 84 yards. I had 5 of them called back. I was number 3 in the nation, but I had 5 called back. I would have been number 1 in the nation in punt return. So I had so much fun at Fresno State, man.
How was it dealing with because you know now you at Fresno State. How was it dealing with the community? Was it dealing with the fans?
Well, they was known as the Red Wave back then, and you know when they printed that horrible thing about me, and that was on me. Like I said, I always take accountability, and I know I'm better than that. So I came back the next week, and I got them back, and the rest was history, man. And oddly enough, they changed the rule now. If you leave junior college and transfer to a 4-year, you can play the whole 4 years now.
I went through that. So when I went to Rutgers, got recruited to go to Rutgers, I got locked in at Rutgers because I was in Atlantic 10.
Okay.
So if I would have transferred within the Atlantic 10, I would have had to sit out. No, I could have played for another school.
For 4 years.
I could have played right away. But if I would have went outside the Atlantic 10, I would have had to sit out. So the whole thing was I was locked in to go to Rutgers.
Okay.
Really, I wanted to go to Rutgers, but I was locked in there. Now that I see they changed it where I could have went and didn't have to sit out. Why do you think they do that?
Why are they doing the NIL deals now? Don't you wish we were still around? I would get up with TD Bank, man. Hey, I'm TD Maker. Let's do something here. But it's amazing how that whole landscape has changed.
It's not too late though. They heard you. What did you say? What'd you say?
TD Bank, man. Let's do some business, man. TD Maker, TD Bank. Come on, let's do it.
It's more room on the couch, But that's like I guess that go with change.
Yeah.
I wanted to be loyal to the program. I messed up.
No, I hear you.
You went to junior college. For those that's watching, that's going that route, I always say it's not where you at, not where you wind up at, it's what you're doing, where you at.
Absolutely.
So no matter what that journey may be at a young age, you wanted to go to the NFL.
I sure did. I had to take that, that adversity. I always try to tell people adversity is going to always be part of your journey. If it's just handed to you, it doesn't mean much. It means so much more to me now, that struggle that I went through with the injury, the bad grades, and even playing at Fresno State, like continuing to be great. And then getting drafted in the 3rd round by the New York Giants, man. And funny enough, I was almost a Cowboy. There's a video out there, a YouTube video, a guy broke it down, and I had heard the rumor. The Cowboys wanted me really bad, and they had to make a trade with Denver. And Denver said no or whatever, and then they tried to ask the Giants. And when my number, you had 15 minutes to pick, the Giants were like, nope, and they picked me right away. I almost lived a dream come true because I was a diehard Cowboy fan as a kid, man.
That's the icing on the cake.
Yeah, but I was born there. So these guys that live out here, they be killing me when they say they Cowboy fans. Man, you're supposed to rep your city.
I like that.
But it's all good.
What's next for you? What you got coming up? I also I'm sorry, before we get to that, there's something very interesting, but you mentioned something about it earlier. What's this that I'm hearing about you and planes?
Oh yeah, I've always been a RC or real planes. I wanted to, but I found remote control helicopters about 20 years ago, and that's my hobby now: flying remote control helicopters and remote control planes. And I always tell people the preparation is just like getting ready for a game. We call it a maiden flight. When you're at the club, when you do a first flight, a maiden, everybody stops and watch. And to me, that's like game time already because I done did the preparation. I got the plane set up on the bench, controls are right, and I always say, okay, ain't nothing to it but to do it. And then hope 99% of the time is good. But there's always that 1% sometime they go in. And we have a saying, you hate to see a crash, but you don't want to miss it. It's going to be about $800.
How was it playing with LT?
I always said, thank God we don't have to play us. Yeah, T was, he wasn't really a vocal leader. That would go to Pepper Johnson and Harry Carson. But T led by what he did on the field, man. And I got to say, I remember the first time I scored my first NFL touchdown, and he came and gave me a high five. You know, I'm a rookie. I was like, that was like the best thing ever, bro. And we're still good friends to this day. He still challenges. You know, you can't play him in golf because he's gonna keep playing until he wins.
That's somewhere else I see you at as well on different occasions. We're in that same circle. Golf. How was that?
Yeah, who'd have thunk it, right? I remember as a kid in L.A., we used to walk by look at them out there in them silly uniforms, clothes, and that game ain't hard. Fast forward, my rookie year in '87, the Giants invited me to Short Hills Mall. It's right across the street. I can't think of the club, but they had their annual golf outing there. I'm like, how hard could it be? I got out there, man, never picked up a club and swung. You know how you do when you ain't never, almost broke my ankle.
I think it's all about the power.
Yeah,
it's about
and as hard as you can. And 17-something years later, I still suck. But we have fun because the group that I play with, as you know, it's a scramble. Everybody swings. You play the best ball. I say, guys, I'm going to assure you 3 Sports Center moments. I'm going to go dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun when it happens. And throughout an 18-hole round, I will do that at least 3 times. Anything else is a bonus. Because you got to put in the time. And I do the helicopters and planes and video games and VR. I ain't got time to go practice golf. But people that play with me, we have a good time.
Talking about games, I saw you years ago until the last couple of times. My son, I think he probably was 5 or 6. You was at his birthday party, jumping off the trampolines, dunking and stuff. And then we saw you as he became a little older, a teenager now. I noticed you always in positions, or you make sure you get in positions to like give back. How important is that to you?
Oh, it's how I was raised, man. And I guess I always say this too, the message to the world, man. It's all about paying it forward. And I'm telling you, I do little things and I don't expect blessings, but they always come. Like, for instance, when I get gas all the time, I give the guys $5, man. And I always say, make somebody's day. Because I'm sure when he woke up in the morning, he didn't think that was going to happen. And sometimes, as you well know, when we do appearances, if I get $1,500 cash, how can I not give this guy a 20, man? I gave one guy a 20. I never forget. I heard him background, dude, that guy just gave me a $20 bill. And I'm sure when he woke up that morning, he didn't think that was going to happen. My mom always raised me to respect everybody. I don't care if you're a custodian, garbage man, whatever. Treat everybody with respect. And it makes you feel good to make somebody else happy when you can do it. And we're in a position to do that. Sometimes just giving them words of wisdom, you know, hearing it from us. And it doesn't always have to be financial.
You hit the nail on the head. A lot of people think it have to be financial. Sometimes it's just an ear.
Right.
Or someone lending your ear just to listen. And what's your take on what they call our inner city ills?
Well, honestly, man, I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I want you to watch this guy. His name is, he calls himself Hood Educated, right?
Yep.
You heard of him?
Yes.
All right. I watch him every day, man, because he breaks it down. And he'll show all these videos of how far the youth in the inner city with these gangs, man. He tries to talk, you know, he gives them a positive message, but he's hoping everybody see these things to see what can potentially happen at the end of the day. You're either going to end up dead, in jail, or your life just ruined and you got a felony. And I don't know what the answer is because these kids, they seem to be lost, man. Like, not all of them, but some don't even, I guess they see 20 as midlife, you know? And some of these crimes that they're doing just, It just blows my mind, man. Like, for instance, I don't know if you guys know who Finesse 2 Times is. Okay.
Yes.
I know. Some guys stole his truck. They call themselves Everybody Killers or whatever. It was like 18 of them. And they all showing their guns, all on talking about, yeah, you want your truck back? Give us the 20 G's and you get your truck back.
It's extortion. That's robbery.
Extorted
and a whole bunch
robbery
of
and
stuff.
put it on Instagram. But they since gave it back without incident. And our boy Hood Educated was saying, I'm glad they did that because it was going to get ugly, man, with that little gang, their little block. They think they in Chicago of all places. You know what's going on there. And got the Vice Lords there, and the whole Vice Lord Nation would have came down on them poor kids and just. But I wish I knew the answer. We try to go and talk to these kids and show them, because I grew up with the Crips and the Bloods, but I said, you know what, that's not for me. And I just don't get it. I don't know what's going through their minds. I really don't, but I know it's really bad now with the gunplay and the diss tracks.
Yeah, and,
talking about
call it drill music.
Drill, yeah.
I think it was a major gap. So we're from, I think it's safe to say, actually was built during your time, before your time, but I was able to be a part of what they called the Village.
Okay.
So the Village helped us because we had more eyes on us.
Gotcha.
You had the next door neighbor, you had Miss Jackson, you had Miss Lee, you had Mr. Jackson, Mr. Lewis, and all of these people is like, yo, you better be doing the right thing.
Right.
Yeah, so I think the basic stuff we're missing. And then we also have to really understand how it was something that was controlled of what's going on with our inner city youth. From the drugs that was planted, the drugs that was planted to the drugs that's being sold to the community. Now these are the offsprings. They already have a lot of energy that's built up. So it also, we're dealing with mental health. So you have mental health, then you have the different drugs, then you have the environment, and it's ending in a criminal outcome. So do I have the answer? No, I don't have the answer. But I think collectively, we could come up with different solutions and not just sit back and be like, oh, we got to wait for the government. Yeah. No, we just need the resources from the government, but it's going to take people like us. It's going to take people that's presently in that environment. It's going to take people that came from that environment, and collectively, we're going to have to figure out what the antidote is going to be. I have hope because it lies in the Creator's hands, but it also lies in our hands of those who can contribute and those that even care. Because it's not everyone a duty to care about their community, right?
Right.
For me, my community was a safe haven. There was a lot of things going on. The people who was hustling or whatever, they protected the athlete.
Right.
I know it's a little different on the West Coast, but some similarities, but a little bit different. So now, to where the sports was our way out, you now have the thugs or whoever have you, and having them down versus having them separate. So there's a couple of things that we're going to have to do, and we cannot make this type of change without having all walks of life. We have to have the ones that's disturbing the peace, because they're all human.
Right.
Right? I mean, we're not stupid. We're not just going to go run down. Like, we have to use our reputation, our respect that we have, where a lot of us take it and use it in a way to where it just benefits them.
Right.
So I'm willing. I've seen you're willing. And we don't have the answer, but we're going to be a part of the solution. And we first got to bring awareness. There's a problem. We're having a problem worldwide. Fellas, listen. Love, 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 love. If y'all banging, whatever y'all doing, whatever kind of disruptive you call in your community, let's get back to what it was supposed to be about, and it was protecting our communities, protecting our seniors, protecting our environment that now we're creating. All right, so it's not over. We're not no sucker soft guys. We just know that outcome is death or jail. Some skate away, but let's stop being our own enemy. And let's try to work together, but we're going to identify the problem and be therapists to one another.
Absolutely. And I also think grandma's missing too. We need Medea, man. Everybody needs a Medea in their family. And I know if I ever got out of line, man, my grandmother, she looked like Medea, had the gray hair. We called her Big Mama. Big Mama did not play.
At all.
Right?
You got the nightgown on.
Yes, and the curlers in the hair and them glasses.
They said things back then one time. If you was new to the house or something, maybe twice.
Right.
But we already knew. One time, it wasn't didn't I tell you?
No.
Or you forgot?
Yeah.
Because when you did forget, Man, you don't even hit us no more. You're on punishment. You can't go out. No fun. It wasn't no video games or none of this stuff like that, but
it was because
that's what's missing.
Yeah, if you question them back, it's like because I said so. And that was the end all right there.
Tough love.
Yes.
Tough love. So we got to figure out how do we remix that concrete, start with that new foundation. It's happening. It's this place. It's happening.
No.
You know, there's, but we need that to be popular.
And I actually got a chance to witness it. So I just turned 61 a couple of days ago. No, God bless.
God bless
Thank you.
man.
So I'm passing by the Whitney Houston exit or rest stop in Union. So I go in there, use the bathroom, and I see this guy taking a picture of her album and her face. I duck down, not paying attention. I walked right into the ladies' room, bro.
What?
I walked in there on my birthday. I looked around. I was like, well, where the urinals at? And I just did my shoulder like this and opened the door. And then I smelled a hint of female perfume. I said, wait a minute. I know I'm not in there. I ran out of there so fast. So I say that to say I was going to a football game. Patterson was playing some kids from Hope, Chicago.
Yes.
And
Shout out to Chi-Town.
yeah, man. And these coaches did a fantastic job. They flew these kids up here, put them in hotels for about 3 or 4 days. They got to go to the shore. They got to go to the city. And they were all us. And they were so well behaved, man. And they straight from Hope High School in
You know
Chicago.
how important that is?
Oh, trust me, my heart was just filled because I'm like, they got to experience that. You know, kids don't used to get to experience that. Travel to another. All they know is Chicago, and they got to come to New Jersey, Statue of Liberty, the shore, have dinner with the kids they're going to play against, and hope eventually they beat them, whatnot, and they came back out and they all hit on the same track suits. And shout out to the coach who did that, man.
And that's one of those games. Like, I love backstories.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love backstory, love underdogs. But that's one of those games where everybody won. Nobody took it out.
I got a picture on my phone when
Everybody.
Yeah,
No, I don't care what the scores say.
Thank you.
The impact those kids going to have and share those stories back with their community and hopefully inspire them. Like, what helped me, I can't lie, you know, traveling, humbly speaking, going to over 24 countries with the N1 mixtape, with the Gauchos, going overseas when I was 15 years old with Stephon Marbury, Felipe Lopez. Just seeing the different things, it helped me mold me who I am. Mm-hmm. Being able to be diverse, to talk about different things, and not just talk about it, but it's like LOX. You know, shout out to the Locks, living off experience, seeing things hand on.
Right.
That helped me. So my point is with those kids that's coming from Hope, coming from Chicago to where people who don't know anything about their dynamics over there, how they move in their community, and all we see is the negative.
Thank you.
And you know, we got guys like my bro Jojo Capone who's pushing the positive narrative, and a lot of other people pushing the positive narrative. Is very important that we share the positive, no matter what soil you come from, no matter what soil you on. That story have to be kept, continue to be told, because I know I'm going to continue to share that story. So you mentioned Chicago,
right?
Shout out to Lala, my cousin Tariq. He passed away. His lady, he met her there in Chicago. Have so many things to offer, but that story alone going to like resonate. Is that like going to be a highlight of my day today?
I'll show you the pictures later, man. It was really beautiful, and I was surprised there wasn't more press out there. You know what I mean? Like that, to pull that off, people that's not in the school district don't understand what that entailed to get that to happen. You know, you got hotels you got to feed these kids. It didn't just happen overnight.
Donations,
yes.
sacrifices. A bill might not got paid, whatever it may be.
And
you
honestly,
know, and we got some of these. You see these big companies that we support, we promote, but for things like this, for those that's fortunate than others, think about it sometime when you go to that club and buy that table for $1,500 and that $800 bottle. I did it at one time. It was just stupid. It was having fun, living for the moment. Not when you're in the moment, you don't understand the moment.
Right.
So my point I'm saying is that this story you hear about these kids that came from Chicago, I'm pretty sure kids travel other places. They have to get to these places. They have to have lodging. They have to have uniform. We definitely want ours to look presentable.
Absolutely.
And I hate when I hear these stories where a group couldn't go somewhere. They fought their tails off. Their parents or guardians took sacrifices, taking them to practice, making sure they're doing their chores, keeping their room clean, and then to tell them that they can't go to the Prop Warner in Florida because we couldn't get a bus to at least travel. We couldn't get a flight. No. So we got to start, I call it, changing our cultural thinking, and let's start embracing the right thing, and not always the popular thing.
Well said, man. That's true.
That's, I have to ask you this before we go.
Okay.
What was it like receiving this Man, so far we done fixed crowns here. We done seen crowns from Miss New. This is heavy right here. It looks like what was it like receiving this Vince Lombardi Trophy, Super Bowl? I'm not going to lie.
That's all right. 25.
Math.
25.
Yeah, 25.
That's the only one I know.
I know it's 2 X's. It look like something that be on a liquor bottle. Champion, the New York Football Giants. What was it like?
Well, I got to tell you, this is a replica. So every player got one of these 3 months after the Super Bowl. I didn't even know it was coming. I had a crate, came to my house. I'm like, what is this? I opened it. I was like, oh, snap. This is part of it. Come to find out, Parcells purchased those for us out of his own money. And the real one, I was lucky enough to, when we landed in New Jersey, driving from the airport, I'm sitting in the front seat of the bus, and I'm holding the real one. And every cars are blowing the horn. It was surreal, man. It was, just winning that game when Norwood missed the kick. People say, what were you doing? I couldn't even watch it because I'm like, first of all, when you're a kid, you have 4 dreams you want to come true. Make it to the NFL, play in the Super Bowl, score a touchdown in the Super Bowl, and win it. We had all those boxes checked until that kick comes up. And I'm like, I can't even watch it. So I turned my back right where he was, and I could still hear his foot hit the ball and this loud roar. And I looked out the corner of my eye, my teammate, older guy, his hips were up here. So I said, he didn't jump that high because we lost. And I only saw the replay later that night.
That huddle
I didn't see
before
it.
Was it tense in that huddle?
Well, see, what happened is what team goes out there, the team that goes out there is field goal block. And I wasn't on field goal block. However, that drive, when they driving down, I mean, man, they drove down through us like a knife through butter. Because they finally figured out that if they run on us, because we're only rushing 2 people because they had this great passing game. If they would have ran on us in the first quarter and whatever, they would have beat us hands down. But Matt and I always say you got to dance with the girl that brung you there, dance with the girl you brung.
And who's your coach at this time? That team?
Bill Parcells.
Bill Parcells.
And Tom Coughlin was the wide receiver coach.
Legendary.
Yes, both.
Legendary.
Both of them have
I've been sitting here trying to figure out which one of these lights is shining me. It's not that one. It's not that one. What's that ring?
Thanks, man.
We can't. What's that ring?
Yeah, it's Super Bowl 25, man. It's 2 diamonds at that time, 86 and 90, and then the little ones were the 16 victories we had that year. So
not too many teams can say they have any of this stuff.
No, and it's funny.
Unfortunately.
Yes, and players too. And I told you I was talking to the great Otis Anderson as I'm driving up here. We're talking about football and whatnot, and we're talking about how lucky and blessed we are that wherever we go, we can always say that we were champions. And people always try to give me a little, the new kids today. Well, you only scored 21 touchdowns. How you get the touchdown maker name? It don't matter, bro. You score 1 and come see me, and I scored in the 1 that mattered. So. We never lose fact that we were so blessed to be able to do what we did and to still be remembered, man. You have no idea. We still do stuff. I go somewhere, Stephen Baker, and they go, the touchdown maker? And Otis Anderson, MVP, 30 years out the game. And the Giant fan base is just so loyal. And the kids that don't know, I direct them to YouTube. Dude, just go YouTube it. Y'all got all this technology. That's our saving grace.
Follows, likes, or whatever you want to look at. That's a blessing to have that.
Absolutely.
The proof is in the pudding.
Right.
Because the new people, no knock to nobody. Mm-hmm. But the difference is that we have lockers and lockers and lockers of stuff you could just go look at. Mm-hmm. They have to get to that stature.
Absolutely.
We're not one-hit wonders.
No.
No knock to one-hit wonders, but it's a lot. Man, you're just a great man. Not only what you did on the court, on the field, is also what you're doing off that matters years later.
Absolutely.
That's a special person. That's that 1%.
No, thank you. And I always say that too. I can't believe that the little 6 years that I played, what I'm doing now is that 6 years is nothing.
It was already written.
Yeah, like you said.
We just had to go through the
follow the
bumps,
script,
the bruises. Sometimes we may have went off script, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
We had to go through certain things, and the creator makes no mistakes, the best of planners. How can anyone get in touch with you? You one thing you want to say, this camera here, what you got coming up next, or your social media handles?
Okay, yeah, well, my social media on Instagram is TDMaker85. On Facebook, it's just Stephen Baker, Stephen, of course, Baker. Don't go to Junior, that's my son. But yeah, I do a lot with this company called Championship Culture. We go in and do workshops for kids K through 12. We also talk to the staff, and I've been doing that for the past 3 years. So Championship Culture, and I had to get you to come to one of them, man.
You know, I'm ready, Miss Cox, to take care of that. Our
Yeah,
Cox,
no, I got you.
And we could definitely make that happen. I'm be honored.
Yeah.
And I'm honored. The center is honored. On behalf of Main Event and Friends and the couch, we thank you for being here with us. You could have been St. Elsewhere, as they said, and you here on the chair.
And
God bless you.
Hey, man, real quick, though, I got to tell you, God bless you. This is phenomenal.
Thank you.
I'm impressed, dude. I've been in a lot of studios. This is beautiful, and I love the artwork and everything.
Tony Mills, he put this thing together with this artwork. He actually sat on the couch where you at also, and we got a chance to talk about how he go into coming up with these creations, and every last one of them have a significant meaning.
Awesome. Well,
thank you for highlighting.
God bless, man. No,
thank
you're
you
welcome.
so much.
Okay. Thank you.
Let the world know the name. Street ball king, bringing pride to the game. From Linden to Elizabeth, Jersey's vein. Main event, forever etched in domain.